Let's talk about how to sell, how to discuss money between the sexes. All right. So how do women talk to men? How do women talk to women? How do men talk to women about money, when you're trying to make the sale? So I just made an episode, loaded up yesterday, on mastering the art of discussing money confidently. So that's on my YouTube channel. So I'll link to that here in the description. But Tabitha asked, do you find it's different, men versus women? But here's some shocking news, right? Men and women are different. And if you want to get better and improve what you're working on, right, you've got to admit the truth. Whatever you can measure and monitor and control, you can improve. Okay. So you need to understand how people are different. And look, when I do trainings like this, we only have a short amount of time. I will make broader, bolder generalizations, can't say that word, statements to make a point. But of course, there's nuances and whatever. Okay. But look, we're dealing with the 80-20 here. Men and women are different. Their personalities, their traits, their drivers, their motivations are different. And of course, they can be the same. Can be and are entrepreneurs. They are executives. They're getting stuff happen. But, my wife has stayed home. We've been married almost 30 years. She's been home for 30 years, raised 7 kids. She has a degree in business. She was in kind of sales support when we met and when we got married. She runs the household, right? Finances, grocery shopping, obviously taking care of sick kids. I don't want her job. It never ends. She just cared for her sick mother for 90 days straight. It's 39 days in the hospital. She was there every day but 2. She was there when she took her last breath. Okay, now she's planning the estate sale, the funeral. She's a strong, capable woman. All right. So, but we're different. Okay. She has the patience and the drive to get into different things than I do than when they are at home. They can be. Okay. I'm a high D. If you look at like the DISC assessments, I'm a high I. I love goofing off. I love telling jokes, in jiu-jitsu. I'm the one cracking up. I've laughed from the beginning, even when I was getting my butt whooped every single day when I was a white belt. When I like something, I like people, I like being around people. Hey, you want me at your party, okay? If y'all ask, I'll dig up some pictures of me being duct taped to a bar in Korea in 93, 95, probably early 94 time frame. So, but when it comes down to business, when I'm sitting here working, there's no music, there's no TV, there's no nothing. I am focused. You call me with that weak ass, hi, how are you? How's the weather? You're done. I'm cutting you off in the knees. Cut to the chase. Let's get after it. I don't need a friend. I need business done. I need to make a decision. I need information. I need a recommendation. Let's get after it. That's why I've always said, we as salespeople must adapt how we sell to match how the prospect buys. So since Tabitha asked, and it was on a video about discussing money, so I'm going to assume that there's a woman a woman is the salesperson talking to a man. Okay. And I'll flip this around after this, but let's start there since Tabitha asked. And so you need to understand. So all things being equal. Okay. And again, using broad generalities, women are more empathetic, more sympathetic, more on the influencer, steady relator type. Okay. More personable, willing to make small talk. How are you? How are things? And they really care and really listen. Guys will ask it and we just to be nice, read it in a book somewhere. Women generally mean it. Now, if you're dealing with a driver as a woman, you need to cut that stuff short, maybe even cut it out completely. We all need to understand our tonality, our volume, our pace of speech, as well as the words that we use. Women typically have higher pitched voices. Women being kinder, more nurturing, may be less assertive, less aggressive. So you may find yourself getting that tone of voice going up at the end. So you're making a statement, but it sounds like a question, like, how much is it? It's $1,000 to $2,000. Are you asking me or are you telling me? So you've got to be aware of that. Okay. You've got to be aware of how your voice comes across, especially like if it's on the phone and it's all it's all we have, right? We don't have video. We're not in person. So you need to understand body language. How are you being perceived? And look, I'm not big on NLP and body language and whatnot, but those are the words that we use, our tonality, the pacing, our posture, all of that means something. Okay. So I'm not saying those things are nothing. I'm saying I don't make it a priority in my studies and in my teaching, but we are aware of that. People say, oh, dogs can sense fear. Well, humans are vastly superior at detecting fear, uncertainty, doubt in the people that we're around. And, I always laugh at, we go hunting, go shooting, right? You're out in the woods and you got all this camo on, and then a bright orange cap, bright orange vest. Like what? The reality is most animals don't have very good eyesight. Eagles, birds of prey have great eyesight, but most animals don't have that great of eyesight. What they detect is movement. Okay. Now humans, we detect a change in movement. And what I mean by that is maybe somebody is, the salesperson, I'm sitting here at the desk, I'm looking right at you, imagine we're face to face or even on a video call, and I'm confident, I'm, showing the screen, coming back to me, everything just expresses confidence, control, power. But then you ask me something I'm not sure of. Pricing, availability, is it compatible with my other software, whatever. And then I kind of hunch down, I stop making contact. That's a good question. So that change in demeanor, maybe I go from, we're in person, I got a pen in my hand, and you ask a question, I start clicking. Or maybe I'm clicking all the time and you ask and I stop clicking. Or I'm in person, hands are on the desk, hands whatever. You start asking things and I'm like, well, it's, we comfort ourselves. You'll see people, like if you watch, the police shows, criminal shows, they'll rub their arms, shoulders, rub their hands. They'll rub their hands on their pants, on their thighs. They're comforting themselves. They're wiping the sweat off their hands. Well, why is there sweat? Because they're nervous. Why are they nervous? Because they're lying. Because they're uncomfortable, they're unsure. They know this is the part of the deal where things usually go sideways. Why is that? Well, the product isn't ready. They missed the roadmap, whatever. So those things do matter. Okay. So when I say I downplay body language and stuff, just understand I don't overemphasize it, but it's a component. Okay. And your prospects, even if they're not, they may know nothing about any of that stuff. But in the back of the brain, the amygdala, whatever part of the brain, the lizard brain, the caveman brain, the thing that has kept us alive as a species for tens of thousands or a million years, those things kick in and go, something's off. So you have to be aware, what are you bringing to the table as a woman in sales? How were you brought up? Were you raised by a single mom? Were you raised by like an old school dad? Women don't belong to the work or whatever. So you've got to understand your own strengths and weaknesses that you bring to the table and make sure, selling it's a unique game. We're selling confidence. Okay. But we cannot appear to lord it over or dominate our prospects. Yes, they want to buy from strong people, but they want to know that they're okay. That they're not a bad person, they're not an idiot, they're not a dipshit for getting in the swamp, in the muck that they're currently in. Okay. It's, the example I always use is like, if I'm selling Fords and you drive up in a Chevy, I can't say, good grief, I can't believe you're driving that hunk of junk. I can't believe they even made it on the lot. Yeah, Chevy like a rock. Yeah, that thing's a rock. What I'm doing is criticizing your past decision making, and you're going to want to defend it, because you feel a little bit under attack. You're being critiqued. So, in that situation, I'll turn it around. David Sandler, he'll call it reversing or negative reversing. There's different examples, but I'm going to flip the script and go, man, Chevy, that's a good truck. Maybe it's kind of new, or maybe it's very old. Either way, man, that's an old truck. Those things, they hold up. I mean, look at that thing. Why do you want to get rid of that? If it's kind of new, man, that's a great, Chevy's making good stuff, man. Why? It looks like it's only a few years old. Why do you want to switch? Let them tell me, and they'll tell you how to sell to them. Oh, no, this thing, the clutch, or, the braking, or the fuel efficiency, or the torque, or the plastic dashboard, or I hate the user interface, whatever. They'll tell you what's important to them. And I started the conversation by complimenting them. Okay, so you've got to understand, what do you bring to the table? And that's why like self-assessments, take a DISC test, take a Myers-Briggs test, take I forget the other one, the INTP, INTJ, whatever, I've taken all those things. You've got to know yourself. Go back to Sun Tzu, right? The art of war. You need to understand yourself. You need to understand yourself better than your quote unquote opponent does, your prospect. And you need to understand the prospect better than they understand themselves. Okay. Now, you are not their whipping boy or whipping girl. Sometimes prospects will get mad. The reality is they're frustrated at themselves. Okay, they're frustrated with life. David Thoreau said, most men lead lives of quiet desperation. So, yes, sometimes they'll come directly at you, but usually it's what do they call it? A deflection. They're projecting. They're not happy with themselves. So let them vent. Okay, be there to lift them up. Be there when they come around to things and calm down. So, but again, you've got to understand, what do you bring to the table? How are you being perceived? What is their mood? What is their decision-making process? What is their buying process? What are the dynamics in the room? Is this a complex sale? Are there multiple decision makers? Is this a 1 week, 1 month, 1 year sales cycle? Understand where you are in that. And then, but still, in all of my training and teaching, I try to get my people to have like a calm demeanor, like a doctor, an attorney, or imagine, like the operations manager or a PA at your doctor's office, and you go in for your regular physical or whatever. They do some blood work, or maybe like your accountant, right? Or accountant's assistant that gets your taxes done, they're getting done, and they call. Hi, Mary. This is Wes over at, Dr. Jones's office. This is Wes over at, ABC Accountants. Your returns are in, or we're finishing up the documents, or, we got your blood work in. So give us a call and we can go over it. So steady, not somber, not muffled, not super happy. Hey, guess what? Come on in. Oh, this is very important. We need you to call right now. Calm, steady, professional, cool, collected. Okay, steady pace. No excitement. And look, when you're talking with them, to a prospect, you can be maybe a little bit upbeat. I like to say, imagine there's a pendulum between, say 3 o'clock to 9 o'clock, and, prospect's way over at 3 o'clock. You want to be at maybe 4 or 5 o'clock. They're way over at 9. So super somber, super happy and excited. Over at 9 o'clock, maybe you're at 8 or 7. So you want to shift your energy and tonality and pace towards them, but not get above them. Okay. And if they're right in the middle, then you could be a little left, a little right, 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock, 5 o'clock, somewhere in there. You want to, no decision, right? A stall, a put off is worse than a yes or a no. It's those maybes that kill us. So we're just trying to get an answer. We're trying to elicit a response from the prospect. So the verbiage, the pacing, everything is the same for men or women. How I teach you to open a call, how to engage, it's the same. You just have to quickly ascertain. You got to read the room. I tell women all the time, you have a bit of an advantage, both over the phone and in person, if you do it right. In marketing, and this has been well documented, and I have taught this for decades, in your marketing and advertising, use humans as much as you can, versus just the product, right? Or landscape. Put people in there. Put people being active. Put people being happy. I'm drawing a blank. It's a Friday. Happy, optimistic. Okay. Even Apple, going back to the day, they had just the white silhouettes and the white cords coming out. But those were humans. They were people, and they were being active. So use humans and use women when it works. If it's neutral, you can go either way with it. Put a woman in the ad, okay? Because men prefer looking at women, and women don't mind looking at women. So the same thing, the voice, as long as it's a professional voice. Man, when I was in the military, hearing women drill instructors, I'm sorry, call me sexist, whatever. You say, hey, Bar, get over here. It's like, oh, good grief. And we were literally I got 5 girls, okay, so get off my back. We were watching some show literally in the last week or two, and this woman was screaming, blah, blah, and I looked around, and I didn't say anything. I look around, and my daughters are looking at me, my wife's looking at me, oh, good grief. It's just not pleasant, okay? So, but if you have a pleasant, soothing voice, it's a benefit for you on the phone when leaving a voicemail. Okay. So use that to your advantage as a woman. Same thing with you, how you dress, how you conduct yourself. If you're calling on a man, look, all things being equal, guy looks out in the lobby, hi, Mr. Schaefer. We've got, Susie from Acme Inc. here to see you. We've got Joe from, whatever other company. All things being equal, I look out, both of you are professionally dressed, but you look nice. Okay. I'll probably let the woman come in first, obviously, if y'all didn't have appointments. If the guy had an appointment and y'all show up at the same time, he's coming in. So I'm not crazy. But you get my point. Like, men like looking at women, like engaging with women. So as a woman, you can literally get your foot in the door easier, all things being equal, when you're calling on men. Okay. But other than idiots and predators and whatever, but you still got to bring the heat. You've got to add the value. So you may get the first at bat, but you still got to bring the goods. Okay. So if you show up at weak sauce, you show up in a short dress, cleavage, whatever. Okay. The perv will let you in, and the perv will try to cop a feel. They're not going to buy from you. So use it. How you dress matters. How you sound matters. How you look matters. And so, but hey, use that to your advantage. But again, I may get in trouble. But I see women spending a lot of time on their appearance, and I think putting too much emphasis on sex appeal than on just a confident, maybe wholesome, I don't know if that's the right word, but instead of the skirt above the knees, try the skirt below the knees. Try a skirt all the way down to the ankle. Try a skirt versus slacks. Again, men and women are different. Seeing women in these suits and whatever, okay, I get it. You're strong, you're confident, you're powerful. You want to exude strength. Fine. There's nothing wrong with a woman in a dress, though. It can be business casual. It can be business. Try it if you haven't tried it in a while. Again, men and women are different, and we recognize it. And look, society is changing. And I learned this years ago. Roy Williams wrote about this with Michael Drew in their book Pendulum. And they were kind of summarizing / streamlining / updating a book called Generations from the 70s, maybe, I forget exactly. And that was like a 700-page book. And I remember Roy saying it would have made like a great 300-page book. So they made a great 300-page book. And this Generations literally went back thousands of years and looked at nations around the world. But obviously the focus is on the U.S. But they talked about a very predictable pendulum of 40 years to a peak of one, 40 years to peak of the other. So 80 years back to where we started. And he was talking about 2023 being the peak of the we generation. And you see it 5 years ago, right? Maybe even 10 years ago, banging the drum, you will drive electric, you will save the earth. And now they're literally torching Teslas. They were begging for government subsidies for us to buy Teslas 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Now they're literally burning them and destroying them because the wrong person makes the electric car. That is an epitome of, it shows that we peaked in 2023 and things are coming back. And now I'm seeing posts, people are like, I would never buy electric. They're saying, hey, I might buy electric now, just despite these assholes. Okay. So I tell you that, this, as we're shifting, and the whole transgender thing, they took it too far. So men and women are different. Men and women being different. Men shifting back, like seeing women in a dress, in a skirt, and leave something to the imagination. Oh, you're sexist. You're trying to keep me down. You're not going to tell me what to wear. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm giving you some ideas to test and measure. That's all I'm saying. But if you've only ever worn slacks as a woman, or super tight, super short skirts in business environments, and if you're not getting the results that you want, try changing it up. It's like anything in marketing. Be careful on what you do change. When you start doing split tests and stuff, they need to be small adjustments. So like literally, if you've worn skirts before, just change one thing, same blouse, longer skirt. Test that, or go from slacks to skirts to dresses. Test one thing at a time and see. All right. But again, I'm giving you generalities, giving you ideas to test if you're not happy with the results. But the overall goal of this video, right, is to reinforce and reassure you that women can be just as successful in sales. And I've always taught this. Men get in trouble in sales because we want to mansplain and we want to jump to the solution. As soon as we hear an issue, we immediately want to jump into solving. And now we're yapping. We're talking because we're insecure. We want to prove how smart we are to the prospect. And we think we do that by giving them answers, by giving them solutions, by deep diving into the product, showing all the bells and whistles. Women, being more empathetic, will listen longer, let the customer get it off their chest. Okay, now where women might get in trouble, they'll listen too much. Instead of having empathy, they'll have sympathy. They'll start crying with the prospect, right, to be extreme. And they'll get down, they'll sit down, in the muck with them, but now you're both stuck in the muck. So, but women are great at listening, having a conversation, allowing it to deepen, because we love to hear ourselves talk. Even the most powerful people you may talk to, they feel misunderstood. They have some kind of insecurity going on in their lives, and people yap to them, kissing their butts. Sometimes they just yearn to be heard, to be seen, to understood. So women bring a lot of value there. You've got natural tendencies lean in that direction, which is a huge benefit. So you just got to be sure that you're cutting to the chase, that you're bringing the conversation to a conclusion, to a decision, and that everyone agrees on what the next steps are. Okay? So I hope this helped. Like I said, I just got this message just a little while ago, and I figured I'd go comb my hair and shoot this off the top of my head. Let me know if this helped. If you have more questions, I'll answer them in the notes, in the comment section, or I'll make another video. All right. Thanks for watching. I'll go sell something.